This is part of a video series on key components of the Mythic Game Master Emulator or GME system, 2nd edition. Mythic GME is a system designed to allow you to play tabletop role-playing games by yourself or with a group without the need for a dedicated game master. I've used Mythic as a co-pilot when running games as the GM. Whether you use Mythic as a co-GM or use it to guide a group or solo activity, it's an excellent tool for storytelling. In this entry, we're going to talk about the basics of Mythic and introduce the fate chart. The core skills needed for this are the ability to ask relevant and interesting yes or no questions, as well as the ability to interpret the answers in satisfying ways, and to break apart the narrative into scenes. All of these skills will come with practice. The first component to consider here is this fate chart. There's a lot going on, but for now we're only going to focus on this middle highlighted column, and we will only pay attention to the larger numbers in the middle of each cell to start out with. We can turn to this chart anytime that we have uncertainty in our journey. Perhaps our character snuck into a fortress and is in the hallway of this fortress, and we might need to find out whether or not there are currently guards patrolling the area. Or perhaps we're looking for some rare potion in a medium-sized town, and we need to know if we can find it available for purchase. To use the chart, we just frame up a yes or no question. The question should flow from the narrative, and a yes answer should be something that gives us an interesting and active thing to engage with. Once we have the question, we're going to assign odds. The odds will be one of these values, listed on the left side of the chart, ranging from certain down to impossible. Note that in this middle column, certain events have a 90% chance of being true, and impossible events have a 10% chance of being true. So we're not talking about literally impossible or certain things. If something is truly certain or truly impossible, we would never be consulting this chart in the first place. Based on the odds we choose, the chart gives us the percentage chance that the answer is yes. Next, we roll a D100. A D100 is actually just two 10-sided dice, where one die represents the hundreds place and the other represents the ones place. Alternatively, we could use another method to generate the number between. If the number generated by any method is less than or equal to the given value, the answer to the question is yes. Otherwise, the answer is no. For example, let's say we want to know if our magic invisibility potion is available at this particular magic shop. We decide that it's unlikely, and the chart tells us that there is a 35% chance that it is available. We roll a D100 and get a 31. We're in luck. The potion is for sale. The fate chart, even considering just this one column and ignoring the small numbers, is enough to run an entire epic campaign if you can ask good questions and creatively interpret the answers. Now, the small numbers add a little twist. These numbers provide for an exceptional yes or an exceptional no as possible answers. If the rolled or generated number is less than or equal to the small number on that left, the answer is an exceptional yes. If the number is greater than or equal to the small number on the right, the answer is an exceptional no. If the odds are 50-50, then the numbers 1 through 10 are an exceptional yes, 11 through 50 are a regular yes, 51 through 90 are a regular no, and 91 to 100 are exceptional no. The numbers vary across the chart, but they're designed so that 20% of the time that an answer is yes, it's an exceptional yes. And 20% of the time that the answer is no, it's an exceptional no. In the earlier example, we decided that our potion being available for sale was unlikely, and therefore we had to roll a 35 or less to get a yes. We had rolled a 31 in that example, which was a yes. But let's say now that we had rolled a 5. 5 is less than or equal to 35, so it is a yes. But 5 is also less than or equal to 7, so it's an exceptional yes. In this case, we have to interpret what that result means, and that's a skill worth developing. Currently, I'm thinking that this means that not only is the potion we need available for sale, it happens to be selling for half price. And there's many of them. Now, next time we'll look more closely at scene transitions and this chaos factor down at the bottom.